For more than 50 days, I avoided a task that could have literally been done in 1 hour. And the worst part is that this task was the most urgent and the most important one for me to do to make progress on my goals. And yeah, I just realized that today. So today I'm going to show you what caused this terrible prioritization that I had over the past few months, how I'm going to prioritize from now on, which is so much better. And I'm also going to show you the process that I followed here to reflect on it and to get free, like be free from this cycle and this ignorance and avoidance that I had. So yeah, let's get started. So right now I'm gonna explain the problem that I had in detail and give you some context about my situation so you can kind of get an understanding of what we're dealing with here, you know? And then I'm gonna show you the solution, examples, and how I'm prioritizing now. So let's go. So every single time that I wanted to do a task, I just felt this characteristic feeling, this feeling that I couldn't really explain, but in retrospect, now that I have reflected about it, I know that this feeling means that I'm not sure about how important this task that I'm doing actually is. And because of that, I'm feeling anxiety, I'm feeling insecurity. I'm not able to execute on the task to my 100%. And that has been going on for like months. And bro, this feeling gave me so many problems. It was literally all around this feeling. I created band-aid solutions. I mean, I tried to over optimize my systems, my processes. I tried to focus on optimizing everything about my life, everything, to just try to fix this feeling because I didn't know where it came from. This feeling made me paralyzed. This feeling made me like afraid of doing any little thing, like perfectionism, which perfectionism is not actually wanting to do things perfect, it's being afraid of making mistakes and doing it wrong. So I had all of this fear, I have all this anxiety, and the more I tried to figure out and the more I tried to optimize everything in my life to try to fix this feeling, the more anxiety I felt because I wasn't targeting the root cause. I wasn't targeting what I needed to target. This feeling rooted from the fact that I deep down know there's something that is more important. There's something that's more urgent that I'm not very aware of and not prioritizing. And this is the feeling that comes from it. It's not because my system is not perfect. It's not because I have bad productivity techniques. It's not because like I need to have a perfectly well done system that completely like forces me to do everything perfectly, and it's in Notion and it's literally, let me just show you this, it's crazy. Look at what I did, bro. Look at this. Look at this, man. Define priorities, step by step. I don't know what, do this, do this, do that, do this, do that. Bro, this was not the thing that I wanted. I can tell you that for sure. Saying that creating this system and doing all of this is useless. Of course, it is, I believe it is still important, but I need to prioritize what's more important, more urgent. And how do I know that? Like, what is the solution here to this problem? Well, that's what I'm gonna explain right now. So I fixed this problem first of all by becoming aware of what the hell was going on, becoming aware of the root cause. Because as I said, I was too focused on trying to work on the wrong thing and trying to fix the wrong thing. And the more I tried to fix on the wrong thing, work on the wrong thing, the more anxious I got because the more time I was putting towards the wrong thing and the more time I was prioritizing for the wrong thing. And there were days where I would just like not even remember what I did because I didn't see any output. I didn't see anything at the end of the day or in the other on or at the end of a work fucking hell. At the end of a work session. And I first did this reflection. As you see over here, like there's a lot of things, and I'm gonna get into depth on how I managed to just get the insights and what questions did I actually ask myself to make a productive reflection. But this is not the only thing that I did to find a solution. It was probably the most important one. But another thing that I did was, so yeah, the most important thing that I did was the reflection and actually trying to do that. Now, this is the reflection, but why didn't I do the reflection earlier? Like, why did it take me 60 or 50 days to do this? Well, it took me that long because I only feel the pressure now, and I only feel the anxiety now. Like I've come to be so overwhelmed with negative emotions and with things not working, with just hopelessness of nothing is working. I'm not I'm not focusing on the right things. So I just completely gave up on this fantasy that I had that making a perfect system would fix everything. It won't. It will not fix everything. It will not fix many things. And the main thing that I need to fix right now is the prioritization, is finding the cause of what's going on, like removing the spaghetti, you know? Before I did the reflection, I had an spaghetti in my mind and I didn't know what the hell was going on. So if you feel like you can relate to this, to what I'm saying, maybe try to add some urgency to what you're doing. Because my urgency is coming from uh, this project, from Spacewise, from having to code this app, code the MVP in 2 months now, because I have a deadline, because this is also a school project that I'm doing. Like, it's also a school project. So I have a deadline and I have a lot of pressure right now to do that. And that's how I gave up on that fantasy. And I actually reflected and found the root cause. Now, how did I reflect actually? What is the process that I followed? Well, as you see over here, what I do is a Kolb's cycle. So what is a Kolb cycle? It's basically where you set an experience, you set the reflection. Here's where you mine for insights. Here's where you kind of make a summary of the reflection, uh, and then you create some solutions, possible solutions or experiments. So on the experience, it's this one. Let me actually do something with, okay, much better now. I basically just filtered this. So here I basically set the experience exactly, specifically. It can't be too large. So like I just said, why am I working a lot but not having any output? There's plenty of movement, but I don't see any work. Well, this is actually not a very good experiment, but the thing that I reflected on was small. It was only one day, and it were the feelings that I felt, because on that day I literally just didn't have any output. I felt so overwhelmed and I felt so hopeless. Hopeless. Here I basically just specified what would be a 1% task that would allow me to make progress on the direction to fix this problem. Basically, what does progress look like? So in this case, is becoming aware of what are the root causes of this feeling and what is going on. Reflection. Here I just described what happened in chronological order, and I basically just specified how the day went and some feelings that I felt. Now, how did I feel here? How did I feel about the experience? Here's where I'm gonna put the emotions and I'm gonna specify when I felt those emotions. So as you see, I just said I felt really like anxious, insecure, doubtful, shameful, embarrassment, worry, preoccupation, sadness, dopamine. Dopamine is interesting because yeah, that's just another thing. When I get a new insight, I get a lot of dopamine, because that means that means in my head that I'm gonna do a lot of progress, which is actually me deluding myself, and it's not true. It could be, but it's not. Then here I'm gonna reflect on what aspects I think were difficult for me and what went well, what I think went well. Here I'm gonna try to be aware of how I responded to challenges and difficulties during this experiment. I mean, I might have tried to avoid challenges when it became too uncomfortable. So that's what I basically reflected about here. Then, what were the feelings or the triggers to acting the way I did? What triggered me to like have these feelings, or what triggered me to be blocked or be paralyzed? Here I'm trying to do is not thinking exactly about what, because that sometimes is really hard, to just say it instantly. I try to think of what is what is related to this. So what triggers me to feel insecure and hopeless when I want to work on a process or system is related to. And when it's related, like I can just put many things and then I can see which one feels like is more accurate, which one feels like represents more the reason that I feel insecure and hopeless, the trigger, you know? And then why do I think I acted this way? Here I'm basically reflecting on, okay, I know what triggered me, but why? Why did I act that way? Like, what is the actual reason deep down I acted that way? And here I just put a crazy reflection here, you know? The key part here is that I felt a very strong feeling in my head, and I tried to go towards that feeling. I didn't try to escape it. I tried to go towards it and try to unpack it and uncover it. And I gave myself a lot of time freedom to do that. It was like 3 hours and 30 minutes. Then here I basically put what I could observe from the reflection, and it was a bunch. These were just observations, and these are not based on making predictions. This is just what I observed, and they are habits or beliefs or tendencies, patterns that I saw from the reflection. And if you want to read this, you can, because I think these are interesting insights that really represent my problem and how I fixed it. What I want to point out here is that I was so obsessed over creating this perfect system and thinking that it would fix all of my problems. I was so obsessed with that even if it didn't work, even if I didn't see any output, I just kept doing it. And it's basically insanity at this point, because even though I was aware, even though I knew that this wasn't giving me any output, I just kept doing it because I probably just believed that this was the cause, like 100%, that is it. And also creating the system gave me a feeling of security. It gave me a feeling of progress as well. It gives me like it's a weird feeling of progress that is not actually progress. It's just me working on the wrong thing, the thing that's not the most important or the most urgent. If working on processes and all of that is not the most important and urgent, what is the most important and urgent? In my case, it's actually building the app and doing the code. Actually just starting to do that. That is the most urgent and important thing right now at this moment. Okay, and now I'm going to show you how I'm prioritizing now and how I was doing it before. So you see kind of like the difference and you see what I improved. So let's go. So before I was prioritizing based on impulsive feelings, basically. So impulsive. I was prioritizing based on what I felt was most important. I was unaware of what was actually urgent and important. I was unaware of what was constraining me, or of what was the constraint, the thing that was limiting me. And by the way, right now I'm going to do this and say what I did before and after, and then I'm going to give a real example on how I would be prioritizing now and exactly what I would do step by step to prioritize better. Okay, so for now, I think this is good. Let's go to the after. So what am I doing now? I'm aware of what is actually the most important thing. And how did I become aware? Like, how did I understand actually, like, what is the most important task? How did I figure it out? First of all, the reflection that I did was huge, like, huge to figure that out, because I managed to unpack all of the feelings that I had and understand which feeling came from what place. And because of that, I managed to understand what was the actual most important task that I needed to do. But another thing that really helped me a lot was thinking about extreme examples. Like, for example, if I only had 1 hour to work at my goal today, this week, I mean, 1 hour a week to work at my goals, at this goal, what would I do? And that task is what I need to work on. So let's map this out. How did I manage to do this? Well, deep reflection, not only a deep reflection, but deep directed reflection, and also extreme cases, which is based on essentialism. Basically, just doing only what's necessary. If I only did what's necessary, what would I actually do? Now, I thought about this, and it was just code the app. Like, if I only had 1 hour a week to work on this, I would just code. I would just code and try to code with AI and try to understand the code and do that. And that's exactly what I did today. And that removed this feeling of anxiety that I had. And this completely changed everything for me. The problem here that I found was that even though I knew what the task was, I felt resistance and I felt a lot of fear and anxiety to try that task because I was so traumatized with like experimenting with anything, doing anything, that I was just scared as hell of just doing any task because I was just so scared of wasting more time, of not doing what was important. But like for that, I need to experiment. I need to just do it. I need to just do it. I need to like have some aggression. That is a really important thing as well. Aggression. Have aggression and just do it. Just does not care about anything else. Just do the task. Experiment with it. Just do it for half an hour, for an hour, and then I can stop. But now I just need to do it for a little bit to see how it goes, you know? Aggression. Really important things to be aware of the most important task and the most important urgent, basically, yeah, the one that I need to prioritize. Now I have more logical reasoning. I reason logically about what is the most important, not what feels more important. Another really important thing that I do now is focusing on why task is important. Like defining this, definition. Defining why a task is important. First thing, just write it on a document, write it anywhere. Any task that I want to do, I'm gonna write why is it important, to know where it fits. I'll give you an example and you'll understand much better now. Now I prioritize from top to bottom. This is a really important concept. What do I mean by this? Well, I'm gonna give you an example. But before that, I forgot about something which was really important as well here, about constraints. Like, what is the part that I'm weakest in right now in terms of the things that I need to do to make progress on my goal? So, for example, imagine that I'm very weak in time management, well, or mindset. Well, I would be working on those. But if my biggest constraint is not mindset or time management, if it is actually just creating the app and building the app or any other thing, then I would need to prioritize that and allow, like, give more time to that, to the actual constraint, the biggest constraint that I have right now. Okay, now we have here 3 tasks that I have that are actually my tasks that I'm gonna have to do. As you see, I have defined why is it important in all of these tasks to be able to compare them and evaluate them logically to see which one is actually more important. Here I'm asking 2 questions. Is this task directly making progress towards my current biggest constraint? Now, for that, I need to first define my biggest constraint. And yes, here it is. I haven't started to build the app. That is my biggest constraint, my biggest thing that I need to work on. So if a task is not important or is not making direct progress towards my biggest constraint, then I cannot give it the full time of my day. I cannot give it that much time. And now, after I have defined the importance, I can see where the task fits in. Like, if why is it important for what? For what category? For what thing is it important for? Well, if I see this one, so finish breaking down the space-wise features and finish the areas I need to work on for space-wise. Okay, why is it important? Well, it will allow me to have an understanding of what's actually necessary, what is unnecessary, any time of the day, and on any decision, because I will have the deadline to achieve a certain feature, and I need to get that feature done by that time. Now, I understand that this is important for building the app. So let's do building the app, or like coding, or for features, and it's also important for now. That's it. And then here we have another task: work on coding and building the app. It's important because I have a deadline in 2 months to get the project completed, and I haven't started to code. Yeah, this is basically just the same thing as this, but it's not, because work on coding and building the app is actually like executing. It's actually coding. It's actually trying to ask AI to write some code and actually learning about it. And this is planning, or this is planning the features. So you could say this is planning, and this is, and then we have another task which is basically important because it allows me to get a better understanding of my current processes and then build upon them and basically optimize my methods of many skills that I have. And this is actually really important. This could be really important. So let me just map this out. So, okay, so systems and processes, we could say skill development. And this seems like actually really important. So we have here 3 things that I'm trying to prioritize. Okay, how would I approach this? Well, I know that my biggest constraint right now is to actually build the app and code. That's my actual biggest constraint and my biggest priority right now. So I guess I'm gonna prioritize this first. At least I'm gonna give it more time. If I say prioritize, I'm not saying that I'm not gonna ignore the other ones, you know? I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I'm gonna do this one first, and I'm gonna prioritize more time, assign more time to this task. But now, this task of planning is also extremely important because it directly affects the urgency that I have, and me understanding what features do I have to build, what features do I have to do. So this is extremely important for also because I only have 2 months. I need to have this really well planned so I can achieve the goal. So this is extremely important, almost as the same as this one. So, okay, let's imagine that I have 4 hours to work today on my project. How would I approach dividing this? Well, I would give this kind of like the same amount of time, same percentage. So maybe, I mean, this seems really important. So I will probably give it maybe like 40, 40, 20. I could do this, you know? Oh my God. Now, okay, if I do the math here, then this should be like a bit less than 2 hours over on each of these. Maybe like 1 hour and 40 minutes, and this should be like 40 minutes. Let me actually check that. I mean, I could do this, but imagine if we had only like 1 hour a day. I mean, this would mean that I would only have around 20 minutes for like each one. Either way, it doesn't matter how many exactly. Something like this, let's say. It doesn't matter how much exactly, like this is 25 minutes. This is not much time. Like it will not be enough for me to make any progress. So I could just do like 80% today, but tomorrow, you know, I prioritize this one 80%. So it would be today like 0 minutes, and this would be I don't know how many, like 40 minutes, and this would be 20. But then tomorrow I can just do 80% for this, and this would be now 40 minutes if I had 1 hour. And this is beneficial because this allows me to actually get into a flow state and focus better. Now, this was an example that I just did. I don't know, this video is getting so long, like, it's taking me so long to record this, it's actually crazy. And I don't know if I'm actually making this value. I hope I am, because that's my whole goal, is just to provide more value and to document my journey. I just like to provide value. Now, this is what I know right now, what I have right now. And then inside each of these different categories, we could say, I could have many different tasks. So I could want to make a system about learning, or I could want to make a system about time management. So I would just do the same, just in a smaller scope. That's what I say, go from top to bottom. First, I'm gonna prioritize the most high level things, and then after I have like some time assigned for these high level things, I'm gonna prioritize what tasks I have in this category. So yeah, for example, let's say I have 20 minutes and I want to work on my processes for learning, for like task 1, task 2, one task, another task for time management. Let's say I want to work on these things. Now, which one is more important for my current constraint? Which one is more important for my current most urgent thing that I need to work on, my current weakness? We could say that like that. The current thing that's limiting me and my progress the most. Now that I think about it, when prioritizing, it's also really important to not only focus about the now, like what is most urgent now. It's also important to focus about the not urgent tasks, but that are also really important. For example, meditation. That is not urgent, but that gives me a real benefit. For example, learning how to learn skills. That is not urgent right now, but I will need that skill for later, for my goal. And maybe another example, developing my processes and optimizing my time management and everything, that might not be an urgent thing that I need to do, but I think it's really important as well, both for now and for the future. The problem that I had earlier or before was that I only prioritized this and I didn't prioritize any of this. So I only prioritized the non-important, the important but not urgent tasks. And I gave 100% of my time to this, 100%, which was a problem because I only prioritized this. And if I'm only sharpening the axe, then I'm not gonna be doing the work that actually matters, that actually moves the needle towards my goal. So the thing is, I need to find a balance here between urgent and important and not. I need to find a balance between these and prioritize them and assign time to each of these. For example, tomorrow I could prioritize like 60% of my time for urgent and important tasks and 40% of my time for not urgent and important tasks, And then inside of these, I might have working on processes, I might have meditating or learning how to learn, These are not urgent but really important tasks that I have to do. And then the urgent and important ones would be just to work on my app and work on my coding, For example, recording videos for YouTube. Those are urgent and important, but it's really relative. Like this is basically the thing about prioritization. It's relative and it's not the easiest thing, I guess. But I think I've made a lot of progress. That's basically it. Okay, so it's been like an hour and a half recording this, maybe like 2 hours or more, 2 hours and a half. And I just hope that this has been valuable for someone at least. If this has helped someone, I'm good, bro. I'm all for that. So let's go. Yeah. Now I'm gonna start with the clips, with the videos that I have recorded along today's day, and I will just put the reflections, like the time lapse of the reflection, where when I'm doing the reflection. I'll be sharing my thoughts, my current problems around the day, my meals, what I'm doing, and all of that stuff. So yeah, that's basically it. Let's get started with the time lapses and everything. Let's go. Hope you have a nice one. I'm gonna go to sleep now. Let me give you my thoughts about today's day. So as you see here, I was just reflecting. If you see like the time lapse, I literally just was typing and typing and typing and thinking about why am I just working so much, but I actually don't feel like I'm achieving anything. And I mean, I figured it out, and it's a problem that I've been having for the past like 5 to 4 months. And it's crazy because I've only started taking action into the code right now. And today is day what? Like 75 of Spacewise? It's kind of crazy. that I was so unaware and so obsessed over optimizing other things that were not actually that urgent and important as actually building the app. So, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna explain this a bit later. I guess you already have seen this explained, but I'll try my best to explain it really well because, I mean, I kind of understand it now. It was a multifactorial thing that it's crazy. It kept me like blocked, full of emotions. I mean, I'm not gonna speak about this right now because you already heard it. But then here I have my FTE moment. This is basically FTE means fuck this event moment, where I really just got mad and I threw everything at the ground, not physically, but yeah. I'm probably gonna be explaining all of this a bit later, so I shouldn't be going into much detail right now. But here I took real action. It wasn't the most productive action, but I took action. That's the important part. I took real action towards the thing that's actually the most urgent right now and the most important. Um, then I reflected on it because I thought that my methods and my way of approaching this action, the things that I did, were not very productive, let's say. I did not get much output from this work session, but I did get some. That's the most important part. I did get some output. Crazy. Crazy. It's crazy, bro. It's just crazy. Yeah, I did the reflection, didn't finish it because it seemed pointless. I cleaned up my digital environment, which is just basically code work. Just code work. I just did this and this, created some databases, and cleaned this up, so now I don't have this system stuff with full of stuff like really crazy, like full of things that I'm not using and stuff. I just have this now, and that's basically what I need for now. I'll try to keep it simple, minimalistic, as I said over here. I mean, I was just getting so lost in my own digital environment. Like, I had like 20 tabs open. I was going from here to here to here to here to here. When I tried to work, I literally wanted to work, but I didn't even know where to schedule the work. I had to like think hard and for a minute to know where things were. Now, bro, I only have this. I'm gonna put my task here, and that's basically it. And I'm gonna prioritize it here. I don't need anything else for now. At least I hope. Either way, I'm yapping a lot in this exact moment right now. But that's basically what I did. Yeah, and I'm gonna go eat. Probably this takes a bit longer. Yeah, something like this. Gym. And then I'm probably gonna do here some more journaling about today's reflection because I really want to have it clear to explain it to you really, really, really well. So yeah, I'll probably do that right there, and here, I don't know, maybe, I don't know what will happen. But let's go. Yeah, see you in a second with the food. So here we've got the meal. As you see, we've got chicken breast cooked in onions, tomatoes, and butter. Here we have some peanuts on top and avocado. Love this meal because it has lots of calories, lots of protein and fats. And then I'm also cooking some eggs over here for dinner. 12 eggs, more specifically. So yeah, I'm gonna get this done and let's go to the gym. Let's go. It's done. Let's go. Alright, today's meal, dinner, is the same as every single day, of course. So we have the 12 eggs, we have the sardines for the omega-3s, the eggs for the protein, the fats, the vitamins, I don't know. It has everything. Here we have this a salad just for the flavor, to be honest. Here we have some salt and some cheese, which is something that I usually don't eat, but today is a day where, well, I just eat it, I guess. And right now I'm gonna be eating this. and then meditating, and then finishing the recording, because yeah, I have recorded a little bit, but I'm not very happy with it, so I'm gonna do it again. Yeah, and let's do it. Let's go. That's it for today. I'm gonna end the video. Bye bye. See you tomorrow when I wake up and I start working again. Let's go. So today I'm gonna show you exactly what caused this terrible prioritization that I had with it.